Again here today, and of course we got AFL football W action. That's right, that's the ladies football. AFLW football action. Of course, we've got the two sides here, the two great clubs in AFL football, Collingwood Magpies and the Carlton Blues. Tell you what, folks, there is no bigger rivalry in football than Collingwood and Carlton. Who's going to win today? We will soon see. But I'm going for the Pies because that's who I support. That's who I barrack for. Only a couple of minutes away before the bounce of the ball. Players are out on the field. They're just finishing their warm-ups. They're going to head into position. Of course, Carlton going into this game as favourites. Short price favourites against Collingwood. We just have a little bit of a glance at the ladder. See where both of these teams are sitting. Of course, both teams are out of contention for a finals berth to head to the finals. But Carlton sitting here in 14th spot with 3 wins, 6 losses for the season on 12 points. Of course, Collingwood down the bottom on 4 points with just the 1 win and 8 losses. It's all about pride today, folks. It's all about pride. Carlton and Collingwood playing for pride down here at Victoria Park, the home park of the Collingwood of old. Should be a really good day. It's a nice day out there. It's mostly sunny, 23 degrees, a slight breeze. We are in for a cracker of a game today. Let's hope for all you Collingwood supporters like me, we can actually get up for a number 2 victory for the season with just 1 round left to go after today. All right, folks, let me take you back down now to the ground and we'll get into the opening bounce, the action. AFLW style, Collingwood versus Carlton.
So Ruby Schleicher addressing her Collingwood teammates, and they got 1 victory, AFL Grand Final Eve at the Swinburne Centre by 3 points against the Suns. Carlton were 2-1 on the season and looking promising early on, but things certainly haven't gone to plan for Matthew Buck's team since. This is about both these two teams finding their brand and being able to sustain that brand over a longer period of time. The focus, though, is these are the two teams who are equal last in the competition for inside 50 differential. They give 9 inside 50s per game to their opposition. Territory, as it so often is, will be a focus today.
Yeah, form goes out the window this game. It's rivalry versus rivalry, and it's going to be on from the very first bounce here. It's going to be all about that contested possession game. Who can win it in the middle? Both midfields really strong, but as you said, Nige, that territory battle and making sure it stays in their forward half is going to be important.
And a milestone for the Blues too is Celine Moody, who's crossed to join Sister Bree in the off-season for the Dogs, plays game 50. Good starts in the ruck. The Pies will find a way to extract early through Barnett. Allen slipped over. And worth noting, pretty much if you take a line across from where Geordie Allen was then, that's the area where we had the burst water main last week, which impacted the turf here at Victoria Park. Done a decent old patch-up job to ensure it's part of the action today. Cronin put a hand at it. Former Pie and Velato was scooting through. Hand in from Allen and just forced to take the Skepper tackle.
Both Moody sisters starting in the forward 50, which you love to see. I want to see them launch at the footy today. Both big athletic type forwards that can really make a difference in this match.
And to that point, they can effectively leave the ruck to Jess Good, who's 9th in the competition for hit-outs this season, averaging 23 and racking them up in the early minutes. Gearan. Shearer got it back from McKay, and the Blues are connecting inside 50, and it's the former Pie we mentioned in Amelia Velato, who got her first opportunity for the season as a late in last week with Darcy Vesio out via the concussion protocols. Amelia Velato has 2-4 in her 30 AFLW matches. She kicked 2 goals in a practice match against North in 2020 in just her 4th game of footy. What a strike, Velato! Like riding a bike or dusting off the golf clubs that have been in the shed for a couple of years. Amelia Velato looking every bit the forward to start this game, and Carlton take advantage of some early looks inside 50.
talking about asserting dominance early in this tough game. Velardo, absolutely brilliant bodywork to push her opponent away from the footy and reach the footy at the highest point. But then to go back without hesitation that she could kick 40+ metres, that's a brilliant start by the Blues.
Goals in rounds 6 and 7 of season 6 for Amelia Velardo, who's been at the Blues via a trade from the Pies. Slisher trying to get something happening for the Pies. Barnett, they connect now with Benici, who can run, take a bounce, wait for something to unfold in front of her instead. Works the 1-2 with Porter. The handball had too much on it though. Good sliding back in defence.
You can see the experience of Benici there, knowing that she had sort of 4 or 5 metres in front of her to run and bounce, but then create the overlap. Just a slight execution error there.
Good with a sizable advantage on Butler in the ruck. Lucy Cronin, who's looked so comfortable at the level, Rising Star nomination earlier as part of her rookie season. Good drop the mark, Can on the scene, bouncing ball, Butler forward could clasp, and the Blues collapse on her. Jen Wilson-Tavern and Mimi Hill working together. And they're quick to round up here, the Blues at the stoppage, but they left the front door open. Can came flying through. Fitzgerald sold her teammate into all manner of trouble. And Wilson-Tavern wasn't able to keep the ball either in hand to accept the tackle or get it out in a way that wasn't going to trigger a free. And Michaela can take a breather and try and tie things up.
The Blues defence there just under the pump, using too many handballs in a small congested area on that boundary side. I would have loved a kick, a big clearing kick to rebound that footy.
Not the flattest part of turf for Michaela Can to navigate here. Drop punt or the banana is the consideration. Can goes the conventional route and it nearly worked. 1-5 for the season for the 23-year-old who was 5th in the Pies BNF last season. So Karen Peterson, who's had a stop-start campaign, can well and truly clear 50, but only for a moment as Allen. Geordie Allen takes the benefit of a 50. Not sure whether Keely Skepper was the one maybe impeding the protected area.
Geordie Allen, obviously a brilliant defender, but starting on the wing, and that's a spot in that boundary area where she can read the footy on the kick out and absolutely launch at it, and that's just a costly error early from the Blues to create that infringement.
Hasn't kicked a goal since round 3 last year against the Cats. Put it right, Collingwood in front. So we'll get a look at the replay of perhaps what happened in the vicinity of the player on the mark. Keely Skepper was perhaps the guilty party nonetheless. Allen goals, Collingwood lead.
You can see the beautiful position of Allen here on the boundary. Her winger just got sucked into the contest ahead, which was Skepper. And then the beneficiary of an infringement gets them on the board for this game today. But Geordie Allen, just a very talented read of the footy, and that's why that wing position's really suiting her this year.
Bree Moody, Keely Skepper, someone did the wrong thing by the Blues, and as a result, Collingwood lead as Carly Remos is taken to task. Been a good replacement for Nell Morris-Dalton. Sabrina Fredericks waiting to enter the fray. Collingwood entering this game bottom in the league for clearance differential at -6 per game, and they're beaten to it here by the Blues, who can't penetrate that second layer through Jess Good.
Well, the Pies have had a lot of injuries, and obviously the loss of Bree Davey affects that a lot in terms of the consistency they're able to produce in the middle.
Benici's kick smothered by Shearer. Keely Shearer, 21 next Tuesday. Today, her 36th AFLW game. Rowe towed it out, but only as far as The waiting Fitzgerald, who could toss the handball, and the Blues get into motion and connect forward. Moody with the mark. Miscue. Villado gets to work in tandem with Austin. And when it's getting in there at the moment, Carlton look dangerously.
They absolutely do. Their forwards are playing from in front, and I absolutely love that. You can see Celine Moody taking the ruck here, so Collingwood will have a spare.
Moody maybe had claims on a free kick with a fistful of jumper from Barnett. Works for the black and white. Allen, their goal kicker, shared the handball, but Ramos was already going to be under siege from Shearer and Cordner. Barnett better to meet that at its highest point then against Good. Ramos didn't have possession. Ortlep did. Benici is happy to effectively score a try. Britt Benici, another strong campaign, apart from dealing with a calf issue mid-season. 20 possessions, 8 tackles, 5 clearances for the reigning Pies best and fairest.
When you're talking about implementing a new game plan with a new coach, you need that player continuity. You can't have injuries and key players like Benici and Davey in and out of the side. So in terms of unlucky, Collingwood have had that this year.
Can missed the running slasher. Instead, the opposing 18, Gearin, can take it and send it deep. Villado after the bouncing footy. Cronin couldn't get a glove on her, but there was someone to help. Terrific tackle in defence from Geordie Ivey at her 4th AFLW club. Another handy replacement for the Pies in this tough season in regards to the medical room, but Ivey's kick can't find Amber Shooty, and it's going to come back the way of the Blues. 3 inside 50s apiece. That now becomes 4. Gearin, Hill, handball only as far as Rowe, who is quick by hand to Ramos. Spaces the kick for the waiting Fowler. Blues are on the scene. Fowler pushed Finn out. Ramos got the body down low and strong on Pound. Shearer back to Good, tries to check the kick, missed the 2 options to her right. Bounce favoured Brown. Slasher quickly turns into out. Brazzali was bodied off it. The spin cycle from Shearer to Villado to Brown. Kick to advantage. Pies at the back. And they have the numbers. Barnett, but keeps it in the same line of play. Slasher simply had to make that ball hers.
Shearer having a huge impact on this contest early. You can see how clean possession's really helping Carlton at the moment.
Porter. See how much Collingwood just want the ball in motion and forward as quickly as possible. It's just amassing those chains. Chatting to the defensive coach, Dom Tyson, the former Roo Giant and D pre-game. He said last week against the Crows, we started to get some of those chains going. It was just being able to maintain that over the stretch of 4 quarters and capitalise on it once we had the ball inside forward 50. Pies, of course, only able to lodge some pretty low scores in recent weeks. Just the 13 points against Adelaide here last Sunday afternoon.
You can see how head-to-head these stoppages are, one-on-one and contest-based. You can see Slasher ripping through there.
But Collingwood into their half. Prodigious fist from Lawson Tavern. Clark, open hand. Got it off to Evans, who looks to take ground. There was nothing beyond the contest, and one of the supreme interceptors of the league in Cordner intervenes. To Fitzgerald. The Blues look for the switch, and on a searching lead, Austin's able to hit up. Can Carlton keep finding the connection? Fowler, athletic, and had the recovery that was required to outpoint Goss. Moody, Ivey from behind. It's let go. Villado goes back to Austin for her second interaction in this sequence. Brazzali in pursuit of Halfpenny, who looked to lose the ball, take it back, and the Blues looking to take advantage. Thrusting through, McKay across the face.
I'm really loving the method that Carlton are showing with their ball movement at the moment. You saw Harriet Cordner at the back creating depth for the team, but then the switch to the open side. They're trying to get the ball in a kick mark style down the ground. It's working really well for them because the choices they're making, whether to hit up or go for territory.
Slasher 5, Shearer 4, the highest possession totals to date. And that boundary throw-in has to go back.
And at the moment, with the way Carlton are moving the footy, they've got 6 inside 50s to Collingwood's 3, and they've looked far more dangerous going inside as well.
If you're just joining the coverage for the first time this Sunday afternoon, a big result at Mars Stadium. The Bulldogs back-to-back wins. They defeat the Saints by a point to put the Saints out of business from a finals perspective. Frederick, McKay, throw called. Evans to take the free, having a second shot at it with the Pies. To Cronin. And footy journey starting a little bit further down Johnston Street at the Q Comets. Kick wide and out, hoping but missing Sabrina Frederick in her 79th match this afternoon.
Love to hear from Laura to see if that wind's making a bit of a difference, because we saw a few of those kicks there just straying to the broadcast side of the ground.
Bring Laura in a moment. Tree's not giving us too much of an indication. Almost a moment for Mia Austin, who'd flown in from 3 and 4 deep. 3-4 for the season for the ex-Eastern Ranger, who led the Blues goals last season.
Just on the boundary, yeah, the breeze, you can definitely feel it picking up at ground level. The other thing I think that's worth noting here is there's quite a strong incline down towards the stand at Victoria Park, and I definitely think that's going to play into things when the players are running along the boundary towards the broadcast side.
Thanks, Laura. We've seen those time in forward half and inside 50 numbers favouring the Blues, but they need to take advantage with the major. McKay working in very close confines. That adductor injury against North in week 5, but the number 1 handballing player in the competition through 8 weeks of the season. Clearing ball just from Ramos. Good mark from Frederick, who's thinking about the hand pass. Has to be careful to clear the mark with Lily Ross standing there. That's what's down the line. There's a couple of hail the cab leads, but in the end, the short option's the best.
You'll see the Pies do this all day. Try and build the ball up and then get some speed between the arcs.
Ramos has to be a free to Celine Moody in game 50. So 4 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Celine Moody over the top. Austin trampolined into the contest. Benici barged out of it. Rowe taken down. Handball for safety. And that wasn't disguised in any way, shape or form, but it got to the intended destination for Shooty.
Matthew Buck will be really happy with the tackles inside 50, 4 for Carlton and 2 to Collingwood, but they've been able to create a lot of pressure when Collingwood is trying to exit out of their D50, which means they're substantially getting a higher forward halftime and more chance at goal.
Frederick, miss Benici. Benici cleans it up, brings the kick back around the body. Ramos out of the fingertips and eventually out altogether. So forward half possessions reflecting the inside 50 count. Carlton have had 25 to Collingwood's 9. Possession count overall is pretty much square.
It's also meaning that Collingwood Magpies forwards have to push up the ground to create a little bit more defensive pressure or help their backliners with this forward halftime the Blues are getting.
Quick kick out here for the Pies. Jen Lawson-Tavern is in the perfect position to impact if they go long. Can takes ground by hand. Clark won't be able to step her way through. Robertson, who is bearing down. Meg Robinson will have a break in her 6th AFLW match. Georgia Clark having a spell on the bench as Shero's been one of the best so far for the Blues. Can pinpoint Goss. Got 5 Finn. Fowler won't get through Celine Moody and looks hurt perhaps as well. Recovers though as Hill got it to Goss. Austin flying in. Brazali missed the mark, goes after it with furious intent. As mentioned, one of 6 players in this game today who played in the opening AFLW match between these teams. Of course, Brazali, the only one of those 6 who's changed squads. Benici's kick wide and out. Collingwood really struggling to turn one possession into two into three.
Well, they absolutely are, and that's because Carlton's pressure in the forward half's been immense, but it also is Magpies are sending another forward up to the contest, so they've got nothing to kick to, as we just saw there with Benito.
Perfect. Right to the advantage of Bree Moody. There was no stopping that in flight.
That's what we love to see from the Moody sisters. Celine there taking a great grab. You can see eyes on the footy, starting in front. She's done that very well for this first quarter. I love that from her, starting in front of her opponent in Livingston, very experienced defender.
Two-time Blues best and fairest, has kicked goals in 3 of her last 4 matches. That is now 4 of 5. So now you feel like Carlton have something a little bit more resembling the advantage they've had to date, with 10 inside 50s to 3. Bree Moody puts the Blues back in front.
Temperature has definitely dropped down here and that breeze is picking up.
Liv, you love the understanding and the craft here. 2 players that have played a lot of footy together. Pound identifying the dangerous space and curling her kick for Bree Moody.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. That is the connection that you build at training, and you actually do training drills to make sure that you're kicking to advantage. And I've absolutely loved that from Carlton today, lowering their eyes and not almost defaulting to the territory kick.
2 lead changes so far. Benici to the speedy Ramos, who scoops a kick wide. White in pursuit of Peterson, who's had more than a look.
The umpire's been hot on, if you've got one arm free, you must get rid of the footy, as we saw there.
Butler takes advantage, kicks it over the hands of Pound. Shearer getting back as defensive cover. And we'll get a 50 with a Collingwood player in the protected zone. It may have been Georgia Clark who got across the mark. So no one inside forward 50. Now they are, but they're only Collingwood jumpers back there. A couple of Blues have worked their way forward of the contest. Bree Moody flies, leaves it for McKay, bounced away from Good. Brogo's low down, Hill, heading back to McKay, who goes to ground, gets away from her hands, but not Brown. Shearer, Hill missed it to the outside. Butler versus Pound. Oh, terrific from Gab Pound. That's a huge ground ball win. Inside 50 off the head of Morris. Allen hoping for a free, but not forthcoming. That is inspirational from Gab Pound. She's shown real skill to pinpoint Bree Moody, and a couple of minutes later, not 1 but 2 efforts to win that footy and put it back inside 50 again.
Yeah, that's what you love from your teammates, that repeat effort, and then so clean at ground level.
Seconds against the Blues. Territorial dominance to the Blues, 12 inside 50s to 4 in their first visit to Victoria Park in 38 years. Quarter time, week 9 Indigenous round, it's Carlton by 5.
All right, it's quarter time, folks. Of course, Carlton lead here by 5 points. 2 goals straight to the Magpies, 1 goal, 1. Carlton were kicking with a slight breeze in that quarter broadcast side. Of course, Huddle Street side, which was certainly giving them a little bit more meterage on their kicks. So it'll be interesting to see, come in the second quarter, can Collingwood take advantage of that bit of a breeze, or will Carlton be too strong in their defence, etc. It's a bit of a scrappy game. Look, both teams are getting in there. They're having a good hard crack at this game today. Of course, as I said, they're playing for pride today in this match. It's about 14th versus 18th. But nonetheless, it's still a good day out down there at Victoria Park. Good for spectators having a bit of a look. So I don't know whether it's going to be too high a scoring game, but it's going to be a well fought out game. That is for sure and certain. Quarter time, it's the Blue Baggers by 5. Let's go over and have a little bit of a look at the leading disposal getter on the ground. Before we do that, let's just have a look at the goal scorers. Of course, Amelia Valorado and Brenna Moody And the goal scorers there for the Blues, and of course, Jordan Allen is the only single goal scorer there for the Collingwood Football Club. Let's go and have a look at the leading disposal getters on the ground. Of course, no one really standing out. All players, well, it's a pretty even type of contest here happening today. Of course, Keely Sherrera tops the table with 6 with Abby Mackay, who's always at the top of the table. And of course, that is for Carlton. And of course, Brittany Bonici leading the way for the Magpies with 6 disposals. We'll just roll down as we always do. Check out your favourite player. See where and how they're performing, what stats they've got so far up until quarter time. We'll take a little bit of a look at the team stats in just a moment. I've got a few minutes before bounce of the ball for the second quarter down here at Victoria Park. So it should be pretty good. Disposal count, as I said, pretty even game here today. 45-47 in the disposal count. Just Carlton by 2. 5 more in the kicks. Plus 3 to Collingwood in the handballs. Inside 50 though, I think with that bit of a breeze going left of screen, broadcast side, certainly played into the hands of Carlton there. 13 inside 50s. Collingwood defending well. Carlton only having 2 scoring shots, whereas the Magpies, when they went inside 50, was only the 4 times, but they did get a couple of scoring shots. And of course, their goal came from a 50-metre penalty. The efficiency of the disposal efficiency, 40-57, a little bit low there for the Pies. They want to lift that up to around where Carlton sits at the moment, which is not too bad. Free kicks, Collingwood getting the favours there on their home turf. 4 free kicks to 1. Carlton dominating the hit-outs at the moment. Of course, Frederick was off the ground for a little bit. That probably says the reason why Carlton were dominating in the hit-outs. 16-9 clearances, Collingwood plus 3, and the centre clearances plus 2. Just 1 on the stoppage clearances. Contested possession, I told you, she's a pretty tight game, folks. 28-27 as the uncontested. Turnovers, pretty similar there as well. Marking, well, look, they're both grabbing the ball reasonably well. 6-8 Carlton's way. Mark inside 50 with that bit of a breeze. It just got down there, and Carlton got more opportunity. Once they went inside 50, they grabbed a couple marks down there. So that was pretty good for them. But there we go. It's Carlton 2 goals straight, 12, leading the Magpies a 1-1-7. I want to welcome into the live chat my famous manager, the one and only Tinane Bim Bim. Shout out to the manager. If you like, folks, if you do like a lot of basketball, Tinane does a lot of live basketball live streams. Make sure you get over to her channel. Support her as well. I'll drop her link so everyone can get over there. And if you like lots of basketball, etc. like that, you may get over there and check that one out. There we go. Let me just drop her link. There we go. Random stuff. How you going? Welcome in the Pug Bros. Addy G. What's going on? I like the idea of that game. Random stuff. Yeah, the Man United game and West Ham. That should be a cracker of a game. Really should be good. I think I did a couple of English games there yesterday and a little bit last night. So yeah, we'll try and get that game in. I think I should be pretty right for that game. I know that's about 1 a.m. my time. I've got the PBA coming up, the Philippines basketball at 10:30 this evening. So that game should finish and then we should be able to get on to the soccer. It should be pretty good. Manchester United versus West Ham. And I think coming up after this game, folks, I think we've got the next AFLW game, and of course that's the Brisbane Lions taking on the Sydney Swans. Another fantastic rivalry. Should be pretty good as well. Don't forget, also, if you're in the live chat, don't forget to vote. Who you think's going to win today's game? Is it going to be Collingwood? Is it going to be Carlton? And don't forget, hit that thumbs up for me. Much appreciated. All right, let's get back down to the ground. Whereas Carlton by 5 points.
Moment.
Barnett gets a flyer over good. McKay with the clearance, but a free kick from the umpire on the defensive side of that contest, and it favours the Pies. Right short. Benici now a game high 7 possessions. But a turnover. Shearer, highest ranked player on the ground in the opening term. Heads for the dangerous Austin, who did well to recover and put the tackle on Morris, who looks to be spending a little bit more time in defence than we've been accustomed to in her time on the Pies list. Allen lurking loose at the back of the contest for the Pies. She might be an option for Barnett, who instead flings it forward. Goss paddling. Finn trying to tackle Benici without giving one away.
I'd also love to see that Collingwood keep 5 forwards ahead of the footy. At the last 10 minutes of that first term, they sent one up to the stoppage. But with Carlton's strong defence, I think it's pivotal you keep one-on-ones ahead of the footy.
Spell to start the second quarter for Ruby Slasher. Finn puts Carlton into attack. Back with a flight, not able to mark with Shooty. Pies look for an exit. It's about to come back in. Austin, repeat efforts. There'll be an opportunity coming at some stage. She's looked so dangerous. Gearin on the scene. Spun in the tackle and then some with Shooty. And Austin now does get her look after providing a real target inside forward 50 in this game today.
Yeah, you've nailed that, Nige. She has been absolutely launching at the footy and just hasn't quite taken a contested grab yet, but it's close, and that is the pressure that she's been able to apply. There's been 3 or 4 tackles like that, and that's the reason why Carlton are getting really good forward half-turn.
Kicked 2 goals in week 1 against the Hawks, a goal in week 2. Nothing since for Mia Austin, who's kicked 16-7 in her AFLW tenure and is sharp again. Likeable goal, likeable Sally, likeable Blues across the board. Carlton have got this game right where they want it. It's a question of how much damage they can do with the supply that they're building.
Austin's looked really, really dangerous as a forward in that forward half for the Blues, and it's up to Collingwood now to respond to that, making sure that they get a number across to help defend, but then also making sure they can clear the footy. Too many hands, and Sam Wright, he spoke about that, the balance between handballs and kicks, and they need to get that better in this second term.
It's all Navy at the moment. McKay after it from the circle, Skittles row. Finn went to ground, goes back to McKay, who couldn't generate yet another hand pass. As Barnett and Fowler closed from both sides. Good only as far as Slasher. Benici, Goss wearing her closely, but the tackle lingered. So where's the movement for Collingwood to get something going? Benici heads for Barnett. Over the top went Cordner, reading it well, and now getting her moment to turn defence into offence. Finn, heavily involved early in the second. The hand pass and then the shepherd on Cam. Back to Cordner, heads for one-on-ones down the line. And closest to them was Austin v Ivy. There's Jade Halfpenny on screen, so 5 games with Port Adelaide. Replacement player for Aroni Fitzpatrick. One Norwood's best and fairest, and was in the Sample W Team of the Year to earn her second shot at the highest level. Good favoured by that throw-in. The 2 hands. Slasher trying to get a flyer on the way through. Ramos. Evans out the front. Leaves it for Can. Oh, that's a clever little hand pass. Slasher just takes ground by foot to the advantage of Clark at the outside of the boot. Lawson Tavern doing well to get the fist in at the opportune moment.
You can see how damaging Ruby Slasher can be, can just cut through contests, and then her booming kick can create a lot of territory gains. But that's a great win there by Lawson, just to get a fist on it.
Pies have had 139 metres gained in the quarter. I think a third of them coming off Ruby Slasher there. More as Butler finds it, heads for Rowe, dropped it, hand in from Hill was vital to bring it back to a 50-50 situation.
Now, the Blues have actually sent up a forward to this stoppage being Gurin, and they've got more defensive shape, Collingwood, which is what Sam Wright was looking for.
There's Can being held. That is the story of that play. McKay was trapped on the wrong side. Michaela Can, who hit the post with a shot at goal in the opening quarter. Here's a look at the free. Clear hand on hand. Can gets a chance to run as far as possible. Head for the square. Pies needing a crummer.
This is one of the first looks that the Pies have had inside 50 for this second term. They need to make the most of it, get some run through this stoppage.
Good. Shearer takes the Porter tackle. Sabrina Frederick's been doing a lot of warming up on the interchange. Can denied by Peterson. Pies bring the margin back to 10 points. Cordner, good pressure in the forward 50 from Fowler. Won't get a statistic for it, Lib, but the Pies live to fight another day after Carlton have owned territory in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's a much better start here by the Pies. You can see one that they would dearly like on the field. Bree Davey just giving some teammates a hug, but we'd love to see her back in action. Obviously, next year will be the year that we see her. You can see how they've flipped the switch here. Time in forward half. The Pies, they've got the early win in this second term, 60%.
Tani White sitting loose inside 50. Trying to create a bit of a switch with Geordie Allen as they swap wings. Good dominating things around the contest. Shearer's hand pass only as far as the opposing 25 Can. Heads for Benici, who can now trap, has her kick smothered. Clark won't find a way out as Goss took it off her. Clearly Goss has played every match of Carlton's season. 24-year-old via Carlton's VFLW side. Good the clearing ball. And there's Tani White, who'd come off the ground and then swapped wings with Geordie Allen. So the ex-Saint, what can she generate? Slight breeze advantage for the Pies in the second. Cordner got up. Peterson stayed down. Hill. Shearer. Good use to find Brown. Back to the running Hill. And away go the Blues. Halfpenny. Should he did well in the contest. Barnett flies it deep. Numbers with Carlton. Lawson Tavern couldn't take it. Clark good. Hand in was so important from Fitzgerald. But they're still working this for the Blues. Shearer sees it out.
In terms of being able to execute what the coach wants, Collingwood have done that brilliantly in this second term. They've been able to create a lot more depth defensively. They don't look as exposed when Carlton are exiting their D50, and that's because they've created an authentic spare with Guerin pushing up behind the stoppage as that fifth forward.
Games looked more even in the first 9 minutes, apart from that Austin goal. Hill missed the handball target of Lawson Tavern. Skepper got it to Brown, who's stayed in the same spot to once again be the exit option. The kick was iffy. Okay for Goss. Brown trying to clean up. Maybe had time to drive the legs, instead kicked off a single step. Morris confused and set upon by Halfpenny, who has a moment in her first game as a bagger. Halfpenny off to McKay, forever in motion, heading for the running Finn, who got to the drop just in time. Pies with spares back. See Allen lurking, trying to cut the angles, but Hill was shorter, and they'll try and do this with a couple of kicks. Kick was too low for Skepper. Can Collingwood punish on the turnover? Butler for Allen. Wide kick. Atkinson couldn't keep it afloat. Cordner. Peterson. Lovely ball for Villado. Kicked the opening goal of the match. Well read by Can, who was just that teasing distance to almost be out of the line of sight, but still a factor. Can's flown that kick. Ramos deserves it on effort alone. I wonder whether that ball's touched the ground or not for Carly Ramos.
I still like Carlton's intent to look to change angles, because at a ground like Vic Park, if you can get it in the middle and you get a handball receive, you're getting a really deep entry. So although that was turned over, I like the method that Carlton's using.
Geordie Allen off, and Ruby Slosher, who started the quarter on the bench, has also come off for a break. So Pies looking to rotate heavily, but not able to perhaps find a way to keep their blue chip assets in the game, even if it means they're not having midfield minutes.
And as you can see there, Sabina Frederick is back on the ground. Collingwood said there's no particular issue with her, despite all the work she was doing on the sideline.
The tap only went as far as Shearer. It got it to Brown. Once again, it's a loopy ball. Halfpenny allowed it to bounce, and bounce it did to Skepper, to the running Hill, who arched the back, but overcooked the kick. And Rowe can take it, but runs straight at Moody, will find her way out on the bounce for Can. Back to Rowe. Had to try and get away around Tani Brown, a former teammate. Morris got the hand in, heads for Frederick. Finn did well to Austin, who snapped immediately. It goes wide. And a better result for the Blues than a behind was that.
Sarah Rowe, great to get back and get that intercept mark as a midfielder, but we love to see some composure in that D50. And sometimes you can get a rush of blood as an intercept possession takes hold, but we need to push back, take control in that D50, not rush.
Collingwood's efficiency has been better in this quarter, but the problem right now is Carlton have a look inside 50. Ivy did well to switch feet with the kick. Gearin, Skepper, Can, loves it in this situation. Got it to Ramos, who was searching for a right and found it, but the kick, again, is out of bounds on the full. Jen Lawson-Tavern will introduce herself to the Pies interchange, and former Swan sends the Blues forward again, just connecting so much better, and Mia Austin is a central figure in that ball movement. There's space in the pocket. Kick heads for Gearin. 3 bites, but not a complete feed. Frederick to Rowe, could use Ivy against the boundary instead, headed for Ramos. Now to Rowe, and to somehow fashion a kick. Can after it, taken down. Porter, no fist on that. Carlton's pressure has been supreme.
They have, and it's been consistent, and that's the thing that you can take most out as a Carlton fan, is the consistency in effort and pressure that they're applying in the forward half.
14 tackles to 8 in the second, 39-29 for the game for the Blues. In the right spot, Robertson sends it forward, Halfpenny there. Terrific tackle, that's stuck. Mitch and Evans looking for a body. Frederick against Bree Moody. Benici with a crucial win to Rowe. Missed the target of Evans. Sweeping through is Gearin on the right. Can't find herself a 25th birthday present. Maddie Gearin. Good to see her back playing some consistent footy this year after her knee troubles. And Cronin on a Sunday trot for Morris, who can run and use the space. Overcooked the kick, for Atkinson. Clark goes fighting for it, now has Atkinson arrive for help.
Better exit there from D50 for the Pies, but yet to get the momentum they need, or the run from behind to gain good territory.
Frederick timed the bump on Celine Moody well, and then finds a way out. Spinning cleverly was White. Kick over the head of Peterson, the Blues spare. Butler left to do it all for the Pies forward. Pound to Peterson, to Robertson, stepping Porter, but a kick won't find a way out. Evans is there, can she keep this alive? Benici there for help. Evans earns the free against Pound, and Collingwood get a chance. Inside 3 minutes in the first half, the margin's still only 10 points. Evans, it's off the side of the boot. Came off Celine Moody as far as Atkinson, who's taken to ground.
I'd also love to see the Pies forward just create a little bit more chaos inside 50, doing a few more running patterns, a few blocks.
Frederick, she was the chaos. Ramos touched on the way through.
That breeze is really picking up here. Sorry to interrupt, Nigel. It's dropping the temperature as well. I think it's around 22, 23. It was 26 at the start of the game.
Carly Ramos having a good game with 9 touches for the Pies. Over the top, Morris away from Bree Moody. Ramos lost it. Brown sandwiched. Shooty and Morris. Blues led by 5 at quarter time. Mia Austin with the only goal of the second quarter so far. Shooty's kick smothered. So some time in forward half now for the Pies as Dana Finn's had a busy second term. Frederick getting to work on Bree Moody. Ramos couldn't work a kick from the Finn pressure, and Hill will take the advantage via McKay. Morris got into the front spot. Browns had nearly all their possessions on that back flank in the quarter. Ortlet clears it. Nothing beyond this ball. Livingston has to put the brakes on, and Stacey turns Vic Park into her own personal dance floor. But the kick was wide and out. Bree Moody takes it, and Carlton can either try and manage the next 60 seconds or look to really press home their advantage. It's 20 inside 50s to 7. Turnover, Ramos, Benici looking to step Peterson, put the handball forward for Butler, who needs to look out. Pressure from Bree Moody, who will now support Robertson. And the Blues find a way out again.
You can see the intent of Bree Moody just to get after that. A chase down tackle that was pivotal in the ball turning over. And every player on the ground, every Carlton player has done that all day today. And that's the reason why they've been so dominant in this game.
Cordner, Pound, and eventually Fitzgerald. And the signs up on the benches. Benici couldn't take the mark. Gearan got it out. McKay to Hill, serves it forward for Ortlet. Steps 2 Pies. Back to Goss, to McKay. As the seconds tick down, can they invent something, the Blues? Halfpenny's kick to grass. Rowe will keep the Blues at bay. 3 straight to 1-3 at half-time.
Victoria Park, Collingwood Pies 1-3.
Goal kickers, Amelia Villado, 90 seconds in. Geordie Allen with the Pies' sole major and first lead of the day at the 5-minute mark. And since then, Bree Moody, a fantastic mark and goal late in the second to give the Blues back the lead. They led by 5 points at quarter time. That margin extended via Mia Austin's goal 2 minutes into the second quarter. So 1 straight to 2 behinds in the second term, and territory once again on the side of the Blues, but not quite to the extent it was in the first quarter. 7 inside 50s to 4 in favour of the visiting Blues in that quarter, who are trying to find a way to their 4th victory of the season. They entered the weekend 14th on the ladder with a percentage of 47. The Pies on the bottom 1-8 with their percentage sitting 42.5. Ruby Slisher will march off with the Pies, who can take elements out of the first half, but once again, that connectivity, that system, that flow, still something they're looking for. And the Blues have got themselves in a circle with their coach Matthew Buck, who I'm sure is full of praise at halftime. It's Carlton by 9 points.
All right, folks, there we go. We'll be back with the commentators with their special comments straight after their quick break. But yeah, it's Carlton by 9 points. 3 straight goals. Carlton 18 points. Collingwood 1-3-9. I tell you what, they had plenty of opportunity. Collingwood lived down their forward section a lot of that game, but they just could not. They could not capitalise on all their hard work down there, just kicking the 2 behinds, and of course Carlton kicking the 1 goal there to win the second quarter there. Again, Carlton looking pretty good all the way around. As I was saying in the commentary, Collingwood need to get cause a little bit of chaos down 50, especially on those ball ups. get a few running patterns going, get some of their mids to run through the bounce of the ball or the throw up, and get Carlton, confused, guessing. But they're just, I tell you what, there's just not enough height in the Magpies down forward. 50 at the moment. Carlton seem to be, defending way too easy for my liking down there. But we've still got a half of football to come. And of course, there's only 9 points of difference. Anything can happen in this game today. Let's go and have a look at the goal scorers. Oh, the fantasy points. Let's check that out at half time. Keely Shearer tops the table, 51 points there. For Carlton, Michaela Kane and Brittany Bonici, 40 points for the Maggies. Me, Austin on 40, everyone else below that at the moment. The goal scorers, Amelia Valorado, Brina Moody, Amia Austin are the single goal scorers there for the Carlton Blues. And of course, still only Jordan Aylan for the Magpies are the only single goal scorer. All right, let's go and have a look at the player stats up until half time. And of course, Michaela Can, she's gone out to a 2-stat lead. She's up to 13 there for the Pies, leading the disposal count on the ground up until half time. 4 kicks, 9 handballs, 1 mark, a tackle. She's kicked it behind. Let's see if she can put a major goal on the board in the second half. We really do need to see a little bit more scoring happen, make this a little bit interesting, this game. There we go. Keely Shearer is best for the Blues on 11 disposals. She's had 6 kicks, 5 handballs, 1 mark, 5 tackles. Brittany Beducci there picking up her tally up to 11 with Carly Ramos on 10. As you can see, the top 4 out of the 5 are Collingwood, but Carlton doing all the damage in this game so far. Abby Mackay there, a little bit slower. Second quarter, still on 9. Tania White there, up to 5 there for the Pies. Lily Ghost on 5 there, also for the Blue Baggers. Well, let's just roll down a little bit. Find your player. See how they're faring. A few players with not many stats out there at the moment. I'm sure they'll pick up after half time. But as I said, there's, to what I see, there's not a great deal of speed in this game. And corridor is probably a good way to direct the ball. If you kick it sideways and then head back to the corridor way, go through the corridor and shoot it down into your forwards. That'll give your team a good opportunity as well. All right, we'll come back to the team stats in just a moment. They're just having a pre-chat with some of the girls.
I dressed up as Miss Trunchbull once from Matilda.
Yeah, we had a bag of Barbie theme party last year actually, so I went as rollerblading Barbie.
Probably something grappling, even though it's good for you.
Anything that involves tackling.
I don't know if I have a least favourite drill. I feel like the hardest drill is when you're kicking in pairs. That's the drill that blows me up the most. But yeah, we've got heaps of crap drills, so no, I'm just kidding.
Alana Porter, she doesn't shut up.
Oh, I can't say Keely Skeffer because she'll get mad, so maybe Brooke Vickers. Do you know what? I've got in trouble answering this question in the past, so I'm actually going to say I like my own space anyway. I don't want anyone to be sitting next to me.
Collingwood and Carlton have played a match at this historic venue in their AFLW history. We've seen them meet every season across the 9 seasons of the competition, and at the moment it's the Blues with the advantage. 3 straight playing 1-3. Nigel Company and Libby Birch breaking this one down to half-time. And Liv, as we work our way through perhaps some of the key numbers, it's just been a matter of Carlton being maybe a little bit more advanced in regards to where they're at in their AFLW journey under Matthew Buck and his second season as coach, and perhaps availability of some of their key personnel's telling today as well.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved Carlton's ball movement. I think they've been very precise. The balance between being able to hit a kick, look down at a teammate, but then the territory that they've been able to gain as well. They've been very efficient with their kicking efficiency, as we spoke about. And Collingwood, they too made adjustments in that second term, which worked for them. A bit more defensive depth, and they were able to get some forward half-time too.
The contrast in styles is perhaps on display with our Sukin smooth plays. We saw Gab Pound in such clever fashion identify the dangerous space one, but then curl that kick with such craft to the advantage of Bree Moody, who then took advantage with this goal.
The Blues have done that well all day. Their inside 50 connection has been elite, and that's something that they've probably been working on at training, and they've finally been able to execute on game day. So Matthew Buck would be absolutely wrapped with that. We saw him spending a little bit more time with the team at half-time, but I'd say it's very positive. That forward half pressure has been very intense, but beneficial to their forward half-time.
And you mentioned that contrast in styles. Carlton more of a kick mark sort of game. Collingwood looking to use the hands. They've basically got a 1-to-1 kick-to-handball ratio. Maybe they've got to tweak that a little bit in the second half. They're going to muster some sort of charge.
Yeah, when we saw that Sam Wright wanted that balance between the handball and the kick, and it's pivotal to make sure you're doing it at the right part of the ground. I think they're over handballing in D50 when you should be kicking, and then between the arcs, that's when you can get speed on the footy and get connection going forward.
The first of 3 matches this Sunday afternoon to complete week 9, and the Indigenous round was at Mars Stadium in Ballarat, and the Western Bulldogs are starting to find a way under Tamara Hyatt, of course, criticised for that low-scoring affair against the Bombers a couple of weeks ago. They've had several games this season where they haven't scored a major, well, they were terrific in their victory last week. The fun continued this afternoon in a couple of fronts. They defeated the Saints by a point. They effectively put Nick Del Santo's team out of the finals race, and the pictures we saw there were perhaps part of that story. Bianca Jacobson going down with a hyperextension of her knee inside the final 90 seconds of the first quarter. You feel like that 1 point was perhaps wrapped up in the lack of her availability across the last 3 quarters.
I think you're absolutely right, Nigel. They were leading the way in that first term, the Saints, and then as soon as a key pillar like BJ goes down in the defensive half, you have to shuffle things around and lose other parts of the ground that you really needed.
So half-time here at Victoria Park, the first time these teams have met at this venue for premiership points in some 38 years. It's Carlton over the Pies by 9 points.
All right, folks, a little bit of a wrap-up there. We'll wait till they come back. Let's head back now. We'll have a little bit of a look at the team stats. Of course, Carlton getting on top a little bit now in the disposal count by 12. Here we go. Kicks, though. Carlton well on top, 16. Collingwood still up by 4 in the handballs. Inside 50s. Well, Collingwood only really managing 4 in that second half with that bit of a breeze, so it did live down there a bit, stayed in there a bit, but still only 4. Carlton, 20 inside 50s. Tell you what, when there's that big a discrepancy, it's hard to go past Carlton, looking like they could come out victors here today. They're certainly doing all the hard yards in this today. Disposal efficiency, well, Collingwood picked up their efficiency a little bit better in that second quarter, up to 50%. Carlton dropped off marginally, 55. Efficiency inside 50. Well, it's not really that good for both teams. I'll be looking to lift that up. Free kick count. Collingwood by 3. Of course, the hit out's a little bit more even now. 25-18 to Carlton. Clearances, although Collingwood's leading the clearance +5, +3 in the centre clearances, they're not taking advantage of that where they should be. Contested, uncontested, all pretty even, just like the turnovers are. As you can see, time in possession for the match. Carlton well and truly on top there, 42% to 32% for the Maggies. So look at the marks, +6 to Carlton in the marking department. Marks inside 50. I mean, you really want to, spot up your targets. You know, when you don't get many marks inside 50, you're not creating space. You're not creating a good leading target for your mids to pinpoint you out on the lead. So this is what Collingwood need to do. They need to get on the run a little bit more if they want any chance in this game. As I said, I think that's some of the difference between the good teams and the lower teams, definitely in the AFLW, folks. I think that, the good teams like Adelaide, North Melbourne, Brisbane, they're just such fit sides. They look fit and they run hard, and you can just see it in the way they play. Whereas it may take another pre-season or 2 for these teams to get on board with the same type of fitness that some of the other clubs have got. But that being said, they're out there, they're having a good crack at this game. As I said, a little bit scrappy. It's a tight contest. Both teams having a good go at it. Who's going to come out on top? Well, we just don't know. We've still got a half of football here to go. We'll see who takes advantage in the second half when we come back.
An historic afternoon on a few fronts. Carlton Collingwood's ninth AFLW encounter, the first here at Victoria Park, and the first for premiership points at the highest level since this match in round 7, 1986. The Blues won by 40 points in front of a crowd of just over 27,000. The 7th game for the Blues for that man, new recruit Stephen Kernahan, who would of course go on to be a 2-time premiership captain. Adrian Gleeson, a premiership player and Blues board member, made his debut that afternoon. There's a guy by the name of Greg Phillips in the lineup for the Pies. He made his debut against the Blues at this venue. The last time Collingwood beat Carlton here in round 14, 1983. Nice to see the Phillips name living on in football via Aaron's amazing deeds in the AFLW. Second half underway. Good start for the Pies. Slicer involved to Benici. Good. Just impacted enough by Barnett to earn a free kick. Jess Good's been terrific in the ruck. 20 hit-outs to half-time. We're trying to trap it with the right boot. Villado, who kicked the opening goal of the match 90 seconds in against her former team. Barnett figuring out a way to start off good and then get a fly. Now Slicer tackled. Free kick against. No advantage. That ball's coming back to Maddie Gearan. Where are the leading lanes for the Blues? There's a half one from half Penny. Finn's in some space as well out to Gearan's right, but it looks like she's going to head for Villado and co. Kick didn't advantage Austin. It did Barnett. He switches. Cronin had to leave it. Pressure from half Penny. Pies out of danger. Shooty for Rowe. Composed as always. Go down for Fowler, who couldn't mark. Through Gearan's legs. Shearer. McKay to Finn. Allen able to slide back defensively and mark. And there's vacant space out to Geordie Allen's right, but not many Pies presenting there with anything meaningful. So short and wide for Geordie Ivey. Alongside Ali Drennan and Alicia Newman in the fourth. Club. White for Can to Benici. And now some run from the Pies. Benici dashes clear of Hill. Kicks for space. And the lasso will ensue. Laura Spurway, what was the news out of the Pies camp at half-time?
Well, Sam Wright's looking for more connection and focusing on the fundamentals just to try and get some scores on the board. As for the Blues, well, the main message was to keep playing their brand, strong at the contest, and continue to bring the pressure. Good news, though, from either side, no injury concerns.
Thanks, Laura. Awesome tavern heads for Good, who couldn't keep the play alive. So there's Sam Wright, Dom Tyson, right of screen. Their backs coach, Tom Wilson, who's had a terrific career with the Northern Bull Ants and more recently Collingwood in the VFL. Their mid-coach, and Dan Curry now on the right of shot next to Dom Tyson, another former Kangaroo, looking after the Pies AFLW forwards. Benici hands in from Good. Britt got it back, but only as far as Skepper, whose kick will make Brazali work. Got away from Moody, but the handball had too much on it for Livingston. Gearin puts the body work on Stacey, who sees it out in her 76th match today. Is Ruby Schleicher having another breather?
Yeah, and that's the thing about a developing side. You need to create depth over the course of a couple of years, Nigel. And we know we see Ruby Slash and Geordie Allen coming off for breaks, but it's the type of depth of quality players that Collingwood will continue to build.
Bree Davies gone from catching up with teammates old and new to some time in the coach's box in the second half. Ramos to Can, playing in front Atkinson. Lawson Tavern though distributes for Hill by hand. Skepper again trying to go around the body. It's just kept in by Ortleb, and that's important. Pound now in space. Hill tosses it for Gearin. Pies with numbers back. Rowe in the hole and has to wear one. Ivy against her Velato. Finn. Fowler there for the Pies.
The Blues actually had one more overlap handball that they could have created there to Gearin's left, and that would have created another forward half chain, but then territory gained from Maddie Gearin there.
Blues were the only 3 inside 50s of the quarter. Gearin, numerous players to beat forward of the footy for Halfpenny and co.
You see Benici there just getting some knee tests done. We'll get Laura on that.
Yeah, she was a bit slow to get up on the sideline after that fall, and the physio came straight over to her, and obviously now she's just getting that assessed.
Hopefully no relation to that incident, to the ACL she suffered here in season 6 against the Dogs. Great work at half-back from Schleicher, who's come back onto the ground. Barnett marks. Where are the handball options running through? Carlton have packed the numbers defensively. Smart lead from Atkinson, showing some craft in her 9th game. Pounds not able to outpoint Porter, who takes the mark, perhaps right on her range with a bit of breeze to deal with.
That's terrific play there by the Pies, and a little bit of a different look than we've seen in the first half, being able to control the footy inside 50 and get good connection.
Porter will chip it up. Fowler brings it down. Peterson. Finn to Goss. Heads for a one-on-one. It suits a former Blue in Brazali, who can let fly if she's allowed to run. A bit of a curve here. Instead, good penetration off the kick to find Fowler.
Well, as we heard Laura speak about, Sam Wright wanted more connection, and that's exactly what he's got. And what I've noticed today is the Pies are a very coachable side. We saw the changes made in the second term. We've now seen the changes made in the third in terms of forward 50 connection. It's been brilliant. 2 or 3 marks inside 50 already in this third term. Hopefully they can get a goal here.
Collingwood have had 9 marks for the quarter. They had 11 in the whole first half. Erica Fowler, no goals this season. Back in last week. Majors against the Bombers and Cats last season. Fowler misses to the right.
Benici's back on the ground as well, so that's a positive sign.
Thanks, Laura. Good news for the home side. They need to turn this improved ball movement in the third into goals. Finn shaded it to Hill, wanted Ortleb. Evans was in there, but Ortleb got back involved. Goes back to Hill, good. Took the mark just prior to Brazali arriving. Morris with the intercept. And the Pies look to change lanes through Allen. Velato was almost in the protected zone. Fowler in space. It's better to watch from Collingwood. A little bit more kick mark in the third. Fowler checks it. And that worked for Porter, who's becoming involved. So where's the lead back at the kicker? Goods back deep. Porter noticed that. Was hoping Benici could slide, but Goss was in front.
Much better signs from the Pies, being able to hit up kicks, not going for that territory-based option, but also their ability to defensively take intercept marks. That's been a shining light. They're good one-on-one wins in defensive half.
Blues with numbers down the line. Brown for Pound. Wide for Velato and Shooty, who takes the sanctuary of the line. Changes on Collingwood's benches. Clark and White are amongst those back on the ground, as is Frederick, who is trying to provide a marking option down the line for Brazzali. Heads there. Lawson Tavern gets a hand in.
Velato just got called for insufficient intent inside forward 50 there, and we've seen that play out in the men's game a little bit. You must have intent to keep the ball in, even if you are trying to create that sneaky boundary throw in. The umpires are onto that.
So the Pies, whose highest score of the season came in their opening round loss to Sydney when they kicked 35 points. A long way adrift of that at the moment, but the method's been better in the third. Fist in from Morris. Ortlet, Gearin finds a way out. Fitzgerald already under pressure. Conceded ground with the kick, but it found a target of Robertson, who took one high from Bonici. Only two players on the ground behind Robertson was Cordner. And they'll go back to go forward and perhaps around the Pies, the Blues, as Peterson has it. Driving ball for Gearin and Moody. Hand in from Shearer. Ortlet got it to McKay. Goes back to Shearer, who slides away from Frederick onto her left. That's some finish. Next Tuesday, and so many highlights to look forward to from the Blues number 25, who helped set Carlton's advantage in this game up in the opening quarter and has been a presence ever since. 14 possessions, 5 tackles, and a very well-deserved goal.
Well, Shearer's nearly been the best player on the ground today. Just her ability to back her speed in and break the tackle has been number one today, and eye-catching, really. There's not many players in the comp that can do that. She's been clean at ground level, clean across the ground, and I just love a player that can back her speed in to kick a goal. Brilliant there, good finish.
Goals in her last 3 games. Was in the All-Australian squad last season. Might be heading for another berth again, averaging 21 possessions, 7 tackles and 5 clearances. One of the Blues' best today, and the driver of the 15-point advantage they have. The Bonici is trying to bite back at Porter with a flight. Great courage. Brings it to the ground for Barnett. Heads back for Porter. Scooped by Lawson Tavern to Robertson, who checked the kick for the most recent goal kicker. That would have been an incredible goal, all to the credit of Alana Porter if that had have came off for the Pies, as Morris and Brown have a skirmish.
In terms of the Pies being able to change their game style, you can see here the courage, first of all, from Porter to go back with the flight, but 64% efficiency to Carlton's 46%, so they've been able to turn the tables again, Collingwood, and get some more ascendancy on ground.
So margin at 15 points, that's sitting at a game high. Collingwood had a brief period in front in this game through the middle stages of the opening quarter. Ortlet jumps into the tackle of Remos and Rowe. Humid conditions in Melbourne this afternoon. 2 taps from Frederick to Remos. Pivoted, got it to Bonici, who had more time. The Pies do have numbers. Porter to Rowe, who can steady. Check the kick cleverly to the advantage of the leading Barnetts.
What I think's better from the Pies is just their decision-making in the stoppage to either give the handball or kick, and it was brilliant there just to give the handball because they had more numbers at the stoppage that they could run and carry, and that just created an overlap going inside 50 and a good entry Need to capitalise here though.
2-6 this season for Imogen Barnett. Shapes at home. Collingwood stay alive. So the margin back to 9 as it was at half time. But it's not so much about the scoreboard, but the substance in Collingwood's game right now. I get those goosebumps every time you're around. Throw that to the side. When I'm pulling up right beside you, pop star Lil Mariah.
This is the difference right here. Looks to kick, but then goes to handball. It creates an overlap, forward half of the centre, and then Sarah Rowe can have a good look inside 50. That's the difference between the first half and this third term for Collingwood, is their options to choose the best disposal.
Young medalist for the most goals in the VFLW season in 2021. Can Barnett perhaps be the presence inside forward 50 for the Pies, who bring it back to the halftime buffer of 9. Ramos spins, McKay in the tackle. Atkinson will fling it back to the former Cat, who puts Collingwood back into attack again. Butler brought it down. Rowe got a fist on the Sharon despite the Fitzgerald presence. And the Pies will be happy with a stoppage and another entry inside forward 50. Ramos into the ruck against Good. Just a size advantage, pretty much creating that free kick for the Blues. Good heads for Livingston versus Moody. Frederick couldn't take the mark, bounces off Celine Moody in game 50. Ivy's handball to Livingston. Wide for Rowe, over the head to Frederick. Kick dribbles to Porter. Well won. McKay, Fitzgerald on the end of the hand pass out. Pies win it back though. Ivy to Livingston. Ball takes a strange bounce to Good. Pound. And the Blues can launch from half back. Hill to the centre circle. Allen, one of the better readers of the play and the ball in flight in AFLW, to Fowler. Thought about the hand pass. Now the right call is to Allen. And they look to spread the Blues wide. White can mark against Hill. Send it high. Good's camp there. Barnett made the contest. But the Blues have all the numbers on the carpet. Skepper just for Fitzgerald. There's a sense about this game all of a sudden. Collingwood, do they have the belief? Do they have the method? Ivy to Livingston to Ramos, who's going to send it deep off the side of the boot. Barnett trapped behind, made the contest on corner, and Collingwood are having little moments that are accumulating, Libby.
Yeah, absolutely. They've definitely got a sniff of momentum in this game, and this effort here from the forwards, that's what you want to see. You don't want to see any intercept marks at all in your forward half, and that's a brilliant effort there just to come forward and smother it, create another throw-in for your team and other opportunity in forward half.
There's been a response from the Pies. They haven't won a third quarter this season.
What I've loved from the Pies as well is just their ability to use their advantage around the ground, which has been different from their first half.
Butler couldn't find a way out. Gearin the clearing kick. Brazali slapped it and then goes after it. She can get that handball out for Cronin, but Bennett still emerge. The kick looked to be touched. Is that the call? Ramos marked and maybe hurt a finger on her left hand on the way in. White for Barnett. Got one hands two. Gives it off. Atkinson the snap. Miscue heads for Hoddle Street.
Well, the Blues are under siege here. They just need a little composure, a little calmness, create a couple of kick marks here, or even go territory, the long option.
Ramos off to have her finger assessed, and she's in genuine discomfort. Carlton, inside the final 2 minutes of the third quarter, they've had the better of this game for the most part, but it's been Collingwood's third quarter everywhere else apart from the scoreboard. Finn for Austin, who looked to keep moving and then sends one high. A skyscraper for Benici. Courage against Bree Moody. Hand in from White. Gets a high one from McKay. So Collingwood can reassemble ahead of the ball and try and generate a goal that would capitalise what they've done in the back half of the third quarter, but also give them some genuine momentum heading into the last.
In the meantime, Amelia Bellado's also been having what looks like a hamstring assessed on the Carlton bench. She's been doing some runs.
Oh, what a fly from Robertson in just her 6th game. Goes short for Finn, and Carlton look like they want to be careful. Finn finds Good, who's somehow been left to her own devices. She could head left for Fitzgerald or deep. Playing in front, Ivy, pushed out of it by Austin. And Carlton get a rare look inside forward 50 in the last 10 minutes. And a stoppage.
You want all your numbers around this stoppage. You don't want to concede a goal if you're Collingwood here. You've had a good quarter.
Gearon's loose and the ball heads to her, which he took Slasher high.
Slasher's got the experience here. Just take some time off the clock.
Cronin. Frederick, there was hands in the back on Good, but no free kick. And again, time might deny the Pies. Row marks and the siren's going to blow. But there's something about the Pies. Atkinson's goal will not count, but they looked so much better in that third quarter. They kicked 1-1, so did the Blues. Shearer and Barnett for their respective teams. Three-quarter time for the first time at Victoria Park between Carlton and Collingwood, and it's on and off set. The Blues by 9 points. Carlton in the AFLW for the very first time at their spiritual home. The Pies had only kicked one goal in the third quarter this season. It came in their win over the Suns in week 5 on AFL Grand Final Eve at the Swinburne Centre. They still haven't won a third quarter for the season, but that was perhaps their best showing. They owned most of that term with a slightly different method. 1-1 apiece was the tail of the tape. The margin as it was at halftime stands at 9, but Sam Wright addressing a group that you feel have got some genuine belief based on how they were to shift some gears and play with a slightly more open, brazen method in that third quarter. Ruby Slisher, the acting captain, is trying to reinforce the point again and hammer home that this is their best chance they've had to try and grab a second victory this season. Laura Spurway's in the opposing camp, catching up with Blues coach Matthew Buck.
Saying that you want to take the game on and take the game forward in this final quarter.
Yeah, Collingwood are a high-pressure side, so I think pressure in your face, be happy to take territory. When we own the ball, we want to play a high-quality game. Let's look to change those angles and play a good style.
You felt that contest tighten up a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Collingwood are always going to come. Their pressure's really strong. It's just we've got to take our chances when we get them.
Good luck in the final quarter.
Thank you.
Thanks to Matthew Buck for his access. Liv, our Amy reliable player to three-quarter time is Keely Shearer, who's the highest-ranked player on the ground and by some margin, and has today shown us her ability to play the game in all areas as a midfielder, as well as pushing forward and kicking that goal in the third.
Yeah, I just love her ability to create time and space for herself to dispose of the footy well, and she uses her speed so confidently, and I love that in a young player, but so clean and clean on kick as well as handball, able to lower her eyes but then kick for territory as well.
So final quarter upon us at Victoria Park. Good. McKay wore one and is down in the centre circle. Blues playing one down. White looking to take advantage. Courtney flew. Peterson has Butler hanging off her. And there's Abby McKay gingerly in game 51, jogging to this stoppage. Allen, Shearer, just as we spoke about, inside, outside, offense, defense. The tackle on Allen, and a crucial moment to start the last, and that is as well. Fitzgerald put it on a platter for Tani Brown. Father Gavin, of course, with history at both clubs. Pies as a player and coach, the Blues for 3 seasons as an assistant. And now it's a blue down in Gab Pound, who is clutching her midriff after a brutal aerial contest. So carnage to start the last. It continues with Finn against White. Finn coming off second best. Rowe, Barnett now behind the ball. Just threw that hand pass out. Skepper to Goss. Heads for a right boot. Bounced away from Shooty originally. She gives it straight back. Mark taken by Cordner.
You can see how much it means, this rivalry to the players, and you can see it in the fourth term.
Good flies, as does Finn, who's recovered. Goss, Shearer to Barnett.
Absolutely throwing their bodies on the line for this contest.
But Barnett finds Rowe. I wonder whether Imogen Barnett's almost being asked to play ahead and behind the ball in this quarter, or maybe to take her turn in the ruck for a few minutes early. Cronin trying to get past Robertson. Fowler running in the side lane. Robertson was able to spin free of Porter, but that pressure saw the kick only go as far as Benici. Got the 3 votes in the AFLW best and fairest in this fixture last year. Fowler versus Peterson. Collingwood need a ground game inside forward 50. Allen running a curve, trying to find her right. Oh, terrific blue pressure. It stays alive though. Can, off the side of her boot, Courtney marks.
Can a lot more time than she thought there. A brilliant work there from Allen to keep the ball alive, not going over the boundary line. Gave him another opportunity for goal, but Can just needed her teammates to talk to her.
A rattling first 3 minutes to start the last. It continues. Rowe with the front half intercept. Can get the hand pass to Can. No, it's a kick in the end. It comes to Clark, who tackles Gearon. Now Can gets her moment and takes it. We've barely seen the Pies kick back-to-back goals this season. They have not been a second-half team. For some strange reason, they are this afternoon, and they are charging at Carlton.
Well, this was the creation of forward half pressure. Great defence from the Pies, just to squeeze the ground, keep it inside their forward half, and then a second opportunity for Ken just to make sure that she can snap that home for her team. Brilliant finish, but great pressure to start the fourth from the Pies.
18 touches and 1-1 for Michaela Can. The Pies haven't been this close since the opening minutes of the second quarter. Good steps across the line. Barnett's been big. McKay versus Benici.
Now it's up to the Blues here not to step away out of the spotlight, but to be brave, come at the footy, take corridor, and take the options away from the Pies.
Barnett flies over the top of Good.
It's in these situations that you can take a step back, but the Blues need to continue to play the way they've been playing all day.
Tangle between Slasher, Shearer, and Ortlep last up. Barnett again looks to run, and that's a better way against Good. Okay. Got it out to Robertson, and ball bounces away from Fitzgerald. Barnett playing a ground game. Tried to check the kick, it got through Robertson. Porter, it favours Clark, who had the handball option, but instead kicks. Which has been more the Pies' way in this second half, but that was a moment perhaps where a handball could have really opened things up for the Pies. Peterson marks and hits pause. Paul, her guile required. Allen got the fist in on Robertson. Lawson Tavern, Porter arrives. Good tackle from Meg Robinson. There's Amelia Villado, who spent a bit of time off the ground to start the last quarter. He's testing out that right knee at three-quarter time, and Gab Pound 4 minutes off since that incident in the centre of the ground. Allen at the back. Wilson Tavern dropped it. Atkinson funnels it wide. Peterson against Butler. Butler snaps. That's miraculous! Words you didn't think we might have been uttering halfway through the third quarter. Collingwood are in front.
Haven't messed around with the footy going inside 50. They've gone long and deep, and Butler here, that just takes real class and poise, but also practice. At the end of training, you do a lot of these fun snaps, but it's finally come to fruition, and that's a brilliant finish from a very, very acute angle. And the Pies, they're up and about. They were up and about from the third term onwards. They're playing some good footy now.
Our third lead change of the afternoon. Collingwood relinquished the lead when Bree Moody kicked that goal at the 18-minute mark of the first quarter. It's Bree Moody paddling for Ortlep, and suddenly it's Carlton needing to find a way to turn the tide of this contest. Slasher, Cronin making some attempt, Evans making some attempt to appease the umpire. Bree Moody and Frederick, so a change of rucks for both teams. Shearer to Bree Moody. Desperately wanting a win for sister Celine in her 50th match. Gearan to Hill, Ortlep to the running Gearan. Got her on the right. Here is Celine Moody. Villado back on the ground. Tani Brown. Shut down. Shooty in the tackle. Frederick winding up to go off the ground. Evans. Not high from Celine Moody.
Blues are well set up behind the ball here, so if the Pies do exit, they're going to be able to rebound it back in.
Slisher waited for the bounce. Now can take it. Feed Ramos. And there's connection in the Collingwood DNA all of a sudden. Cam to Evans. Blues in front and with the numerical advantage. Dawson Tavern the mark. Virtually every player on the ground in front of her. Bar Harriet Cordner, who urges her to go. The left foot kick is not good. Rowe went to ground. Goss to Bree Moody. Shearer again finds the left. Villado knocks it forward. Ivy will have to accept the Celine Moody tackle. And the Blues get a look at it close to goal.
I love the intent there to go corridor, though. That's how you're going to get your greatest scoring opportunity.
Frederick. Shearer. Nothing forthcoming on either side of things.
You hear the crowd getting involved too, Nige.
As they should. We've had great crowds at all 9 of these matches between these two teams. So Carlton winning the first 3 encounters. Collingwood have won the last 5. The Blues coming in, sitting 14th on the ladder compared to the Pies, 18th of 18, and with just 1 win in Sam Wright's first season. That coming against the Suns, as the Blues fans trying to get themselves involved at Carlton's first visit to this storied venue for 38 years at the highest level. Ortlep accelerates to her right. Not the best effort, but perhaps it works for Gearan. Back to Ortlep, to Bree Moody. The Pies close in through the feet of Hill. Can to Frederick, wanting her right. Found the hand pass. Ramos found her boot. Lawson Tavern, a tangle. Butler, can it go off the ground? The ball pauses. Everyone holds their breath. And we've still got 9 minutes of this to look forward to.
The pressure is on from both sides, both coming together to create a heated battle in this 4th term.
Benici back on and gets one straight away. Allen, kick on the right. Lawson Tavern looking into the sun. Libby Birch, you know more than anyone else how hard that is in defence.
Oh, that's incredibly hard. And Lawson Tavern's been strong in this 4th term, particularly just sitting herself, getting a bit of depth for the Blues off the back on that boundary side there. Brilliant from Tavern.
Frederick got a hand in. McKay tackled by Cronin.
And here comes Gab Pound back onto the ground, guys. She looks a bit proppy still, but she's been cleared to play on.
Good to hear. Thanks, Laura. Collingwood in front by 3 points. Having trailed by 15 at the 10-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Barnett, Can, Butler with the goals to bring Collingwood back into it. And the advantage is a sizable one for McKay. No, it's coming back. Overruled. Collingwood can number off now ahead of the ball.
I was just about to say that, Nige. You've got time now, generous time really, to make sure that the Blues are all got an opponent, which is what you need to do in this slow play scenario.
Into attack go the visitors. Shooty went to ground. Gearan paddled by Celine Moody. Finn, flying Finn, got it! Dana Finn from the production line that is County Mayo kicks her first AFLW major, and Carlton wrestle back the lead in this pulsating contest.
Well, both teams are just making the most of every opportunity they have in front of goal. Really, really smart tap on there and a great finish. That's absolutely brilliant snap. The Irish are so good at that, Nigel. We've seen so many goals of the years that have been snaps from the Irish, but that's a brilliant, brilliant finish. You can see the teammates and the energy the Blues are going to get from that one.
Dana Finn The 24-year-old from County Mayo hasn't that area of Ireland given us some players in the AFLW short history. Her first AFLW goal, a timely one. Carlton break. Collingwood's run of 3 straight. Frederick points row, another Irish woman deep. She lost the handle on it against Dana Finn. Good, got a hand in via Benici. And that's not coming out. Sarah Rowe, another of those from County Mayo who's provided us with so many highlights. So the last 3 AFLW games, a draw in the Dreamtime match, 1 point at Ballarat, and who knows where this one goes. What an exciting Indigenous round it has been. Gearin against Cronin. Fatigue starts to become a factor. Cronin takes it. She's taken down by Shearer. Frederick rolled, hoping for a hand pass. Benici looking for every single inch.
Too soon yet for coaches to make calls to put players behind the ball. I'd probably say around 3 minutes is the time slot that we'll check back in again to see whether they have that defensive strategy in play.
Finn, Cronin couldn't impact. And the mark goes to Austin, who's been quiet in the second half but was so vital to Carlton establishing that early advantage. Halfpenny takes the mark in her first match as a Blue. Will that involve a celebration in song? Velado against Shooty. Eyes with the numbers. Rowe got it through Finn's fingers. Porter after it and did well to beat numerous Blues. Got it back to Rowe. Gearin. McKay. Good.
The Pies forwards need to start in front and make sure there's no intercept marks from the Blues if they get this clearance.
2 goals to 1 in the last. Slasher cut in half by Finn.
Thought that might have been a high tackle, don't
It was close as everything's seemingly been today, Lib. Dana Finn having some huge moments. A goal and now a tackle to stop one of the stars of the league. Frederick could mark. Good. It bobbles free. Skepper went to the grass. Halfpenny back to Skepper on the left. Velado on the line. Allen back with the flights. Neutralises the threat. Bodies thrown everywhere. The margin at 4 points. Sam Wright just motioning for the Pies to take as much ground as quickly as they can. Brazzali is the right person to start that. The kick's wide though. Benici needs to touch it. She can't. Effort was desperate, so much so. And she ended up on the interchange bench. Shearer marks and pinpoints Gearin.
That's a great kick. Some great touch on that kick as well from Shearer. Gearin will take her time here, take the shot clock, take 30 seconds out of the game.
Keely Shearer was in the Blues' best in the loss last year to the Pies at Icon Park. She had a game-high 8 touches in the last. As Gearin's kick is wide and very much out.
Seeing a reindeer sign on the bench. Wonder what that means. Nigel, go for it.
That's a multiple choice question, and not A to D, more like A to Z. Butler via Livingston, Porter, Pound, straight into Slasher, stripped by Butler to Allen. Pies need a mark. Cronin creates the one-on-one, in slides Barnett, Pound. This has been a courageous effort from Gab Pound, who copped a barrage in the opening minutes of this last quarter. She's dusted herself off, as she's done in 72 great games for the Blues. Hill takes it, and Gearin marks in front of Brazzali.
Gearin here is going to be smart.
Deepest forward contest is Halfpenny, with Livingston trailing her. Shooty was being held by Halfpenny. No. Incorrect disposal to call. So Jade Halfpenny, the former Port Adelaide player. Frederick back as the spare for Collingwood. Stepper with a short lead. Several hands on it. Benici has several hands on her in the Blue Star mids in McKay and Hill.
With 2 minutes to go here, this clearance needs to go straight through the corridor for the Pies to get a sniff, another opportunity at goal.
Skepper loose, ahead of the ball for the Blues. Clever from McKay, composed from McKay to Finn. And one could quickly become two for Dana. We can also use her full complement of 30 to bring the clock down south of 90 seconds. Dana Finn right on her seasonal average of 12 touches a game. She's just kicked her first AFLW goal. She won't kick her second. And the Pies have got to find 150 metres and a goal in 80 seconds. Slisher knows it. To the front, Barnett. Collingwood have to keep this play alive. Porter fumbled. Composure McKay to Fitzgerald to Hill. The right names for the Blues, particularly Shearer. But it's Bree Moody who's now going to get to work. Bad bounce. Cronin somehow out for Remos. That's a clever hand pass. Can to Cronin. Overlap for the Pies. Does it stay alive for Barnett? It does. Blues have got numbers back. Robertson. Evasiveness. Slisher and Allen fly desperately. You'd think the Blues and Pies will both take the stoppage for respective reasons. The ball sits at halfway and we've got 33 seconds left to figure this one out. Carlton searching for a fourth win. Collingwood their second of the season. Hill mops up. White marks and will go. Carlton with the numbers down the line. Cronin in front. Hill again. White marks. One last chance. Kicks into a Carlton player and that might be it. Goss. And the moment is gone for Collingwood. Allen to Livingston and Carlton make a winning return to Victoria Park. A 4-point victory delivers a fourth win of 2024.
We are the old Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team on Carlton Road. We're all the champions. They like to send up. We'll keep our men up. And they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark Blues.
It's the closest winning margin in their 9 meetings. The fourth time a match has been decided by single figures, and the third time that Carlton prevail by such a small margin. They won by 8 points in round 1, 2018, and their last win against the Pies was by 5 points in round 5, 2019. In AFLW terms, that is an age ago. Victory in AFLW match 50 for Celine Moody, who's with Laura.
She is. Congratulations, the 50 games and a win against the arch rivals. It doesn't get much better than that.
No, very happy with that one. Yeah, love having a milestone in the navy blue, and even better to get the win, especially with this group of women.
But also at this venue, considering it is their home turf and you haven't played them here before.
No, exactly. Yeah, well, I've played them here a couple of times in a previous life, but really good to get a win on the board with the navy blues here at Vic Park.
And what does it mean for you, considering you held on in that last quarter when they were coming?
Yeah, look, we have had a little bit of an inconsistent season. We really want to finish off the season stronger than probably what we have been going. So it does mean a lot that we get over the line, and we just need to come back to trusting the process and, pounding the rock, as we've been saying a bit this week. It's, just staying true to what we've been working on and still continue to grow.
Well, congratulations. Soak it up.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
A successful afternoon for the Moody family. Celine and Bree get a win in Celine's 50th match, and Father Peter's just won the listed Sale Cup with his mighty horse pounding down in Gippsland. So they will have quite the celebration tonight, Team Moody, after victory at Victoria Park and in Victoria's East. Well, what a quarter it's been for Dana Finn in her 14th AFLW game. The 24-year-old from County Mayo has kicked the winning goal, her first at AFLW level. She's catching up with Laura.
Yes, Dana, we were just all talking about that goal of yours. Looked like you enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was pretty special. I think, first goal, but it comes off the back of like our hunt and our pressure all throughout that game. So yeah, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, but yeah, delighted.
Oh, I think you're being very humble. Might have a goal of the year contender there. How much does it mean to you to get the win here?
Yeah, everything. I think it's been a rocky road. There's been ups and downs, and we've really been seeing glimpses of our really good footy, and we've seen that out there today. And yeah, like it's been about building. We've got knocked down and we've got back up again. And just delighted that the team stuck with it there. We always knew Collingwood were going to be strong in a contest and always come at us with pressure. So yeah, I thought we handled that really well, and yeah, delighted.
Well, we know you've stayed positive all season, so reward for effort. Well done.
Thanks a million. Thank you.
Congratulations to Dana Finn, the Pies, acting captain Ruby Slisher, talking to the troops. They were gallant. They got themselves in front in the final quarter, but Dana Finn and the Blues prevail. Carlton sing the song at Vic Park for the first time in 38 years after this.
All right, folks, there we go. That's all we got for this game where Carlton defeated Collingwood 5-2, 32, defeating the Magpies 4-4, 28. Well, they had to do it. Collingwood hit the front. Carlton had to snare a goal, and, of course, a brilliant goal there they got. And, of course, it was a battle for the final few minutes, but, yeah, that's it. Random stuff. You got up over the line. The Blue Baggers. They got victory today, so at least they'll go away happy with the way they perform. They should, you know what? They pretty much dominated the first 3 quarters of this game, although they didn't put total score on the board. And then Collingwood came out. That was the best quarter I've seen Collingwood play all season long. If they actually play that top brand of football for more than just that one quarter, then they could be okay. But yeah, they'll have a good look at the tapes there and see what they both teams did right. Look, Carlton's defence was pretty good out there today, so you've got to be pretty proud of the way Carlton performed out there. And, of course, the final quarter from the Magpies, as I said just a moment ago, was the best I'd seen them play all season long. Probably the best quarter I've seen them play ever. So there we go. They just had a lot of run about them. They had a lot of run. They had a bit of speed. They had composure. They had handball receives. They had leading kicks. You know, it was just a different outfit the final quarter. But as I said, Carlton certainly strove hard to get that final goal for victory. And what a great goal it was. There it is. Dana Finn was the winning goal scorer there for Carlton. Just a miraculous goal. She was slung, tackled, put the ball on her left boot, I think, from the left side, and slotted it through the big stick. So absolutely fantastic. But there we go. All right, that's all I've got from me, folks. Coming up next, Brisbane taking on Sydney. It should be another fantastic game. AFLW action. We'll stick around, but before we go, we'll just wait for the Carlton theme song before we head over to the next game. Stay with us if you want to head, or I should say, listen to the Carlton theme song.
Carlton on their return to Victoria Park for the first time in 38 years. Take the spoils back across to Royal Parade. 5-2-32 to Collingwood's 4-4-28. The final score to complete the Melbourne set of matches in week 9. What a terrific Indigenous round it's been. Nigel Carmody and Libby Birch wrapping this one up and looking ahead, Lib, to a monster final round of the season. Here's how the ladder is set with Brisbane and Sydney to complete the week 9 matches. And as we cast our gaze forward to the final home and away week of the season, it's set up well from a fixturing perspective. Geelong find themselves in that mathematical possibility territory, and they'll be the first cab off the rank hosting the Adelaide Crows on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so exciting. Make sure you've got your eyes on the screens of 7 and AFLW this next coming week, because it's going to be a huge last round for all those finals hopes.
So very much looking forward to perhaps the standout match of the round is going to be Hawthorn and Richmond, who've certainly split across the last couple of weeks. The Hawks find themselves in second place on the ladder. The Tigers, as it stands, will enter the final week of the season in 6th place, but certainly in a jumble of teams vying for both finals places and possibly top 4 as well. Well done to the Blues. 5-2-32, they defeat Collingwood 4-4-28. Big thank you to Laura Spurway, to all our production team as well. But well done to Carlton. Matthew Buckside find a way to grab their 4th victory of their 2024 campaign. Cannot wait for the final week of the AFLW season of 2024 next weekend.